Hi guys, HC625MA here, and this video will be about calibrating Simchair MKIV collective lever. So we have freshly made single throttle lever here with a physical throttle latch, and we will need few things. It's a programming cable, Simchair MKIV peripheral programming cable, FTDI 232 based one. Screwdriver with head for the bolt, 10 millimeter, and the master controller, MKIV master controller. Also an Ethernet cable to connect our lever to the controller. So we will start with opening our Simchair collective single throttle firmware from peripherals folder. So then we need to connect our lever to the programming with a programming cable to USB. So I have my FTDI 232 cable here, and I will connect it. Okay, so now we need to select the COM port. Make sure that we have Pro Mini selected here, and we're ready to start. We should uncomment define calibrate and comment out these two lines with map functions, and then we can press flash button. Flashing is finished. Now we can look at the serial monitor, and you can see some values running here. So what we need to do now, we need to check endpoints. So we can see that we have a range from here here in the first column we have the range from 0 to like 500. It's not a cool range, actually not a good range at all, so we have to adjust our physical sensor position with this. You can see there's a bolt there. We will be turning that bolt with our screwdriver. So you can also see that the magnet only registers like here, but it should work right from there. So we will be turning our screw clockwise until we will see numbers changing here. Oh yeah, wrong direction. We have to turn it counterclockwise in this case. Yeah, you can see numbers have changed. We now should set it to 0. So the idea is to set it in a way that it will work from either from the very bottom or from some position that is close to the very bottom. So here I have it from I may want to adjust it slightly. So we have a small dead zone. Yeah. No, it's totally fine. So now we know that we have our collective access value from 0 to 1001. So we should memorize this value. Now the throttle, I have to turn it to both ends. We can see that we have our values from 99 to 1023. And now we have to enter these values into our map functions. So basically we uncomment this stuff and we put, yeah, you can see that here we already have the correct values set for us by default. There we have to set like from 99 to 1023. So what map function does, it maps this range to this range in a linear way, this range to this range. If you're interested, just Google it. It was a description of this function in Arduino Playground. So now we flash it once more. We have to make sure that we now have correct values in our serial output. You can see we have output from 0 to 1021. It's good enough. And with throttle I have same thing. Now we want to memorize the detent value, so we have 120 here. You can see this lever has a physical detent, so it's a latch. You have to press it to physically move your lever further, and it will pop up when you turn it counterclockwise. So 120 is our idle stop detent position. We have to memorize it too. So now when we can see that everything is fine, we can comment out calibrate and flash our lever again. You can see that we no longer have any serial output. It's good to check if we have any, because we shouldn't at this point. So we're almost done. Now we have to configure our lever in the master controller firmware. So I will use my USB cable, micro USB cable, and my Ethernet cable. It's a regular Ethernet cable. It can be used for connecting your PC to internet, for example. So here we have it. Yeah, you can see it. Okay, so next step, we should open our master controller firmware. And from there at first we have to look at our device definition step. So for example, if we have any other devices along with our collective, we can select them here, but here we will be selecting just the collective single throttle. So because we only have one lever, you know, without anything else. So we have to open the collective single throttle tab here, and then we have to uncomment our debug output, and now I have to select Arduino Leonardo here and its COM port. We can flash our master controller firmware with our new configuration. So yeah, we can see our values now. We have just seen this same value of our throttle at idle detent. You know, when testing it under in the COM port output of our peripheral firmware. So basically we just look that everything's okay here, comment this out again, and then we can go like here to configuration tab. We need to find single collective, then basically we have to enter correct values here. So here we can enter 1022, I believe, and we have physical throttle ledge. This button here is physical throttle ledge, so we leave it turned on, and here we write 120 because we have this value of throttle at our idle stop physical detent, and this controls what button will be pressed when the lever will reach its throttle axis 0 position. So that's all we have to change, and press flash again, and our lever should work from this point. Yeah, as usual. So here's our collective joystick, and you can see it has 3 buttons. You can see that Z-axis works perfectly. You can see that throttle axis works nicely, and also you can see that our detent position corresponds to the 0 position of the axis. And then when I press the detent button and advance it to full closed position, it also presses the joystick button number 3. So when I will remove when I will turn the throttle grip counterclockwise, you can see the button is depressed and the throttle axis begins to work. So compatibility, hue compatibility mode also works this way. So when you close the throttle and the throttle reaches end, it will press page down button, and when you move it counterclockwise after that, it will press page up button. So as you can see, it works. The mode switch by default it acts like a mode switch, so it doesn't work you can disable it and it will be shown here as a joystick button, but by default it's reserved for controlling your buttons mode on for example this simple pedestal that we can attach to our lever, or maybe collective head that we will be attaching here. This lever will have the 412 head, which maybe I will talk about. I will make some other tutorial based on it when I will be working on it. So basically that's it. I hope this tutorial was useful, because the collective is probably the most popular Simchair item. So thanks for watching, and please ask questions in comments if you have something, if you have them. Thanks again. Bye.